watching Lake Votes 2012. We're here today with Kelly Zachary, who is running for Stark County Treasurer. Welcome, Ms. Zachary.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Why are you running for office?
Why I'm running for office? Well, let me just give you a little snippet about me. This is not my first foray into politics. I spent 2 terms as a Canton City Council person, and I think the same reason I ran then is the same reason I'm running now. I want to help the residents of our community, and I think a lot of times when you meet politicians and it all sounds good that they want to help people and they want to help the community, but I am one of those people who sincerely, I got a lot from the community that I was raised in, and I want to give that back. So I'm running because I do believe that the voters deserve to have a choice in this election, and I think I would be good for the office.
Thank you. What do you think is the most important mission of being a treasurer?
Well, as far as the mission, I think there's a lot of things that are involved with that. One, everyone knows that our economy is not in the best state right now. And there are people who have found themselves in positions where they may be potentially losing their homes because they either owe back taxes or they can't meet the mortgage. There are a lot of people out there right now who are underemployed, unemployed, and I think the goal would be to help stabilize our community by helping people stay in their homes. So if there are programs that we can put in place to, help people pay those back taxes, or, put some type of stipulations on when they can pay the money back, how they can pay the money back, and if they can pay it back in portions, and in order to allow people to keep their homes so that we don't experience a continuing decline in population in this area.
What distinguishes you most from your opponent?
I think I have a compassion for people and a real desire to help people. He is a finance guy. I'm a human resources person. It doesn't make one better than the other, so to speak, but my background is in human resource management, and I like dealing with the groundwork. I like interacting with people one-on-one. I think it's very important that you're able to work with people, not just on a particular level, but on all levels across the board. I have a pretty extensive and broad background, and just being a ward council person, I've met people who didn't have much, and I've met people who were blessed with a lot in life, and I'm able to interact with, deal with, and get along with everybody.
Thank you. What are your top 3 priorities for the next 4 years if you are elected?
Well, I think one of the top priorities, like I kind of touched on before, would be to help stabilize the community by helping people stay in their homes. I also think that there's a history behind this particular seat, unfortunately. Everyone has seen things that have happened in the past as far as what had transpired in the treasurer's office before. So I think one of the biggest priorities for me would be to be a transparent treasurer, and not to be a behind-the-scenes person, but to be a hands-on public treasurer, because the public deserves to know what's going on in the office, and they deserve to know what information that we can put out there for them, as well as our help and assistance in doing things and getting things done. And I've found, like in the past, just in positions I've held in the past with government agencies, you have to be very, very, very responsible when you're dealing with public money. So it's the public's money. They deserve to know what's going on with it. They have a right to know.
What is your integrity for being a new treasurer?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What is your integrity for being a new treasurer?
I like to tell people I'm not a politician, because in all honesty, I'm not. I think a lot of times there are some good politicians out there, don't get me wrong, but I don't classify myself as a politician. I think my moral compass may be a little too high for that. But if you do have a desire to serve and you do want to help the public, then sometimes you have to get in the trenches and do what's right. But I think my moral compass is very high. I'm an honest person. I'm married to a police officer, so he's also a captain in the Air Force, and he's in Afghanistan right now, deployed, and he'll be back after the election. But we're a public service-oriented family.
What is the key to a successful budget?
I think you have to make sure that you stay on top of a budget, first of all. You have to make sure that everything is balanced, and not just on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. on a daily basis, and especially when it comes to you're collecting property taxes, you're collecting, real estate taxes, and you have to make sure that everything is balanced with the auditor's office to make sure that things that have happened in the past don't happen again. And I just think you have to make sure that every penny that you have in your budget, one, is accounted for, and two, is being spent on the right things.
Thank you. How would you do the financial situation? How would you do more with less?
That's actually one of my fortes. In my former position with our local transit agency, every year I would spend a lot of time pulling my hair out, trying to figure out just exactly that. How do you do more with less? How do you utilize the resources that you have? And a lot of times when you do work for government entities, it's not like corporate America a lot of times where, some companies are flush with cash and they spend a lot of money on like frivolous items like monogram napkins, things of that nature. You don't have that luxury when you work, for a government entity. So one of my big strengths, I believe, is as a human resource professional, I've spent a lot of time working with outside vendors to save our agents, or my former agency, money in our health insurance premiums. There's a lot of different ways that you can go about tweaking a budget to get every dime that you can out of it. So I think doing more with less is just every government entity's mantra these days, and a lot of times that means that you have to deal with less human resources as well as financial resources. So I'm pretty good at utilizing people to the best of their capabilities and motivating them to do a good job in more than one capacity if necessary.
Okay. How do you feel about the Stark County Treasurer corruption?
I'm not here to place blame on anyone. I just think that as an HR professional, if you vet your employees, then things like that may not happen. I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now if that had happened in the past. My opponent wouldn't be in office right now if those types of things have happened in the past. But you just have to make sure that you're looking at the background and doing the checks and making sure that you have honest people in position. And, you have to make people accountable as well. You have to not just give them a position and expect them that they're going to do the right thing. You have to, as the head of that office, follow up and check up and make sure so that these types of things don't happen. So I think it's unfortunate that it happened. I knew both individuals personally, and I never could have imagined that one of them would do this to our county. But like I said, I'm not here to place blame, but I do think it's time for us to move forward. And we do need to reinstill a certain trust from the public back into that position and into that office. And again, like I said, you do that by being transparent. You let people know what's going on. You give them every piece of information they could possibly want. So,
thank you, Ms. Zachary.
well, thank you for having me.
I'm Bridget Stevens, and you are watching Lake Television.